welcome to the 2020 Top Woman Masterclass. We would love to hear from you. Where are you coming from? What are your challenges today? And what do you expect to get out of a Top Woman Masterclass today? We'd really love to have you engage with us and chat with us as much as you can. So keep the comments coming. If you don't know Zoom by now, it's in the bottom left-hand corner where it says chat, and you can put in all of your comments and give us some feedback. I think we've got people from all over the country in South Africa, including Africa, and I imagine some people in the rest of the world. So we'd love to know where you're coming from. Okay, while we are waiting for the session to just go live on Facebook, I'd just like to do a quick introduction to our speakers. So we are having, unfortunately, and this is the world we live in, we are having a slight technical error with getting one of our speakers on, Celeste Roux. She is one of our award winners from last year. She won the Top Entrepreneur Award category. And Celeste describes herself as an ambassador for transformation and changing the narrative within South Africa, building, environment, and construction industry. She's also recently launched the React Training College, which is the first Black female-owned and CETA accredited plumbing college. There's Celeste, just joined us live. Hi,
yes,
Celeste.
hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the Top Woman Masterclass. We're having a good morning.
Thank you,
We're
Karla.
a challenging morning, but we're here today. So we've got over 700 people registered from all over the country, all over the world, I'm thinking. And even more reason why, if you guys can, in the chats, let us know where you're coming from. We want to hear from you, we want to engage with you. So please, the next speaker I would like to introduce that we have, one of our panelists today, is Munyadziwa Rikhotso. She's the Executive Director of Nsovo Environmental Consulting Solutions, and she's also a previous winner of Top Women Conservation and Biodiversity and Environmental Management from last year. Welcome, Munyadziwa. The volume on. Welcome, Munyadziwa.
Thank you.
And then last but not least, we have Busi Selesho. She is an international accredited money coach. She's an international speaker, a best-selling author, and Busi has been or is sort of like one of our top women ambassadors. She has judged for our awards for more than 2 years consecutively. So not only that, but I found out, and I should have known this, but I found out yesterday that Busi has also written a book called Money and Black People. So we are doing a survey after the event around gender empowerment, and we would love to hear your inputs. And for those people who do fill in the survey, Busi has offered 3 of her books as a prize. So get your hands on that, and we'll also make available where you can get her book later on in the episode. So I just want to get to, first of all, ladies, can I just ask Celeste, would you just like to say a quick hello and introduction on yourself?
Yes, hello everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I am super excited. Thank goodness my son was here because I'm not that technologically advanced. But hello everybody. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a site services management company called React24. And I've also recently opened the first Black woman CETA-owned accredited plumbing college. And so I'm very excited to be here with you all, and hope we're going to get a lot of value out of everything. So hello to the other ladies, the other panelists. Nice to see you.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi there.
Thank you, Celeste. Munyadziwa?
Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I'm Munyadziwa Rikhotso, the Executive Director of Nsovo Environmental Consulting. We are a 13-year-old business. We've been servicing parastatals and private clients, assisting them with sustainability and assisting them with ensuring that they comply with the requirements of the legislation when it comes to environmental management. That's actually our core business and what we do. Looking forward to this and hoping you guys will get one or few things from this session. Thank you.
Busi, tell us about yourself.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me, Karla. I'm so pleased to be here. I am an international accredited money coach, and I do a whole lot of other things other than just making sure that we are winning when it comes to our finances as women and, you know, as a country and as a continent. So I am doing coaching. I have a coaching academy where I train coaches to be professional coaches, and I'm also an energy healer. So those are the things that I wake up to do every day. And I'm so looking forward to this masterclass.
So you're bringing the energy here today. So just to, for those of you who don't know, my name is Karla Fletcher. I am the host of the Top Woman Masterclass series. Not only that, I have sort of made it my life's work to create a platform for women-owned businesses and gender-empowered companies to accelerate gender empowerment. And I think, just so if you can all see the screens, our purpose is really that we want to create a network of 10,000 women-owned and gender-empowered companies in Africa. And this year we've set ourselves a bar a little bit higher, where we actually want to link the top 1,000 corporates to 10,000 women-owned businesses. So we're going to need your help in doing that. It's a really big task. We're very excited. And this is one of the ways in which we hope to do that. We've got a very, very jam-packed calendar this year for those of you who want to get involved in any of our other platforms. We've recently launched our Top Women membership platform. And with that, as you can see, anybody who subscribes or becomes a member gets a membership badge. And again, the whole point of that is that we are sharing and accelerating gender empowerment and making it vocal and visual. We have our awards, our annual awards that take place. I think the Top Women Summit last year, we had over 3,000 attendees. Our aim was 10,000. We are increasing that aim to 20,000. We're being highly ambitious. But here's the thing. 2020 sort of whacked everybody quite hard. And what happened, what I noticed is that where companies were struggling to transform digitally, literally overnight, when there was a sense of urgency, they did so. Top Women and the Women's Day was first declared official 110 years ago. And according to the UN, there is not one country worldwide that has reached gender equity. So it is really, really important that we can say there's a level of urgency. There's a reason why we need to have women in leadership. There's a reason why we need equality. It serves for society, it serves economically, and it serves individually. So that is really our aim, is to push that. Again, I think the reason why we have this topic today and the reason why we are looking at these areas is really just to reach that. How can we increase leadership? How can we make women who perhaps doubt themselves or do not have the ability to understand what they need to do to accelerate themselves in business, in work, and personally? So I'm going to get to the first topic. I've introduced your speakers. I'm going to get to the first topic, and that is how to grow your business with staying power to be ready for any curveball. And I think just to start the conversation, data has shown in the last year that women-led economies and women-led businesses have really outperformed those who have not been led by women. And I think it's really important that we are saying, what does it take? What do we do to get out of our own way and bring our best foot forward, right? These three phenomenal women who we have here, and I'm sure there's many in the audience as well, have achieved the ability to overcome a lot of adversity. I've spoken to them independently, and I am amazed by their stories. We often get sort of sidetracked with award winners, you know, and I said to Busi yesterday, it sounds like your life was a pure trajectory from awesome to awesomeness, you know. But she quickly put me straight and told me, you know, something that I didn't know, which is some of the struggles she had been through and the lessons she had to learn and how she failed forward. So Munyadziwa, I'm going to start with you.
Right.
You look ready to tackle today. You look like a beautiful, powerful woman, big smile. So what do you have to offer in regards to sort of how to grow your business with staying power? You've been doing this for 14 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Basically, what I was thinking about was that basically when one is preparing or planning to start a business, you would have to ask yourself quite some key questions. That is, what exactly do I want to do? What would be my geographical footprint? Who would I want to serve? And why? I believe that the why is the one thing or the one question that would allow you to actually stay afloat, I mean, in your business. This why, when you answer the why, it must actually be worth its weight in gold. It must give you purpose. It must be your compelling business case. It must be your actual reason for being, and the validity of the answer to your why must actually be timeless. It must actually be able to withstand the test of time. The what, the where, and the who, I believe that would allow you to, as a business someone, it would allow you to take off, but the why would actually allow you to stay there, and it would be basically the wing, the air, then the wind beneath your wings. It would be the reason why you stay wherever you want to be, and then it would actually be the great support system in your process of starting your business. So I was actually thinking what my why have been, and my why was really about me chasing my dreams, chasing my vision, and trying to just achieve whatever it is that I so desired. I remember as a child, I had a dream and I had a vision to run a business, although I did not know at the time what exactly it would be, but I always saw my business on the N1 highway with a billboard somewhere that says whatever it is, you know? So that's one of those, over and above the many other things. My why was all about me chasing my dreams and working towards my vision. It was about my independence and self-empowerment. It was about me realizing my full potential and actually just expressing myself in my area of expertise. It was about heading the call to actually serve my people and empower others, and contributing meaningfully to community building and fulfilling that purpose that I believe that it's actually my purpose in this world. Yeah.
I mean, you were saying that following your own vision was what enabled you to serve, because you mentioned the word serve now, and that's really important. Yeah. So, Busi, can I ask what for you? What is for you staying power in business?
Yeah, I think Munyadziwa has just mentioned it. Most of the times when we focus on our purpose, our core reason why we are existing, things sort of work out very well. So for me also, I had done a lot of things. I had gone and sort of tested a lot of things. And when I landed on something that was about my purpose, everything seemed to finally fall into place. And when I'm saying fall into place, I don't mean that there was a miracle where I did not have challenges and it wasn't difficult anymore. But all those difficulties and all those challenges just made it so much more interesting. I mean, I've seen so many challenges. I've seen also so many wins, but all of it becomes something that I am so proud to wake up to every day. So I think all of us, our staying power comes from that place of knowing that this is why I'm supposed to be here. And I mean, and as a coach, and every day I meet people who are saying, I know I'm not supposed to be here. I know this is not my calling. I know this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, it pays my bills. Well, it does whatever it does. I'm good at it. I do it well. But I know deep down that this is not me. But that also is not to say that wherever you are, you should move, but just try to make it who you are, because then you do not have to wake up every morning thinking that I have to work. It just comes easily. It just becomes your life, and you don't have to try to make it work.
I know a lot of people might have this question, and Celeste, when you get to you, maybe you can answer it with Busi. Did 2020 change that why? I mean, because if the curveball gets hit, I mean, that was it, right? One of you mentioned the Black Swan event being 2020. But I mean, how did that change? And what do we do to adapt to it if it does change?
I think that's a very valid question, especially in terms of staying power. But where I'd like to start first is, Karla, and the women before me, you know, they've mentioned it about purpose and certainly vision. You know, you have to have a vision for your business. Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? What do you want to achieve in the next 10 years? That's extremely important. And I find specifically with, you know, when owning your own company or being an entrepreneur, you've got the vision in your head, but you don't always effectively communicate it to your employees. And those are the people that are going to enact your vision, if I might say. In terms of 2020 and giving us a curveball, I think certainly we've become a lot more in tune with our own emotions, a lot kinder. But also, you know, the black swan is my thing, because, you know, we could look at the economy and saying it's down and everything else. But here's the thing, it allows us to look for the opportunities. And certainly obstacles or necessity is the mother of all inventions. So it is, COVID has necessitated us to look at things differently. It's enabled us to maybe form partnerships that we never thought that we would, unlikely partnerships. You know, I think maybe of Takealot and Mr. Delivery. So you have a Mr. Delivery and online. You know, that partnership is fantastic. So if you have an online store and you merge with maybe a logistics firm, you know, it's a match. So certainly we need to think of doing things better, something different. I've also thought long and hard about, I think as humanity progresses, it's always taken a sort of a catastrophe to push us to the next level. And COVID has done this in terms of technology. We're also dependent on technology now. You know, you've mentioned it, sort of overnight, we've had to use technology and Zoom and all of those things. So I do believe that we need to look for the opportunities amongst all the obstacles.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I know that for two of you to have won awards in 2020, you've definitely found the opportunities. So that's why you're here. I do want to get into our next topic, which is, I think that they sort of lead into one another, which is tactics to transform obstacles into promotion opportunities. But before I do that, I think I just want to put a shout out, because we've got people who've signed in from all over Africa, from Kenya, Midrand, Cape Town, Nairobi, Johannesburg, Pretoria, Bloem, what else have we got? Mozambique. Okay, the weather must be lovely there. And so welcome everybody. The question that I have based, and I'm going to put this to a poll. We've got a live poll which we're going to put up now. But I really want to know from everybody, and you can put this in the chat, is what is your breakthrough that you would like to achieve today, right? Because I think that's why we're here. We're here to overcome the obstacles, and I think from speaking to some leaders, most of those obstacles often are within ourselves. And in saying that, Celeste, I know that you had kind of a breakthrough in the last 18 months to 24 months, and I'd love you to just share that and talk to us about that.
Yes, absolutely. I was. Are you there?
We can see you.
Sorry, I lost the picture. Hi there. I was fortunate enough to go study last year, and I remember the very first lecture. We were talking about values-based leadership, and I realized that I'd failed myself because I didn't value what I brought to my own business. And I think a lot of us women are stuck in this. We sort of have this guilt mentality over everything. And I failed myself because I didn't realize maybe that my management style, it was okay. It was okay to be empathetic and softer and for people to come to me and chat. And so that was my moment of saying, you know what? I am good enough, and what I am doing is good enough. And the funny thing, you're saying, you know, you've won awards and things like that, but still, when you have this maybe negative voice inside your head saying, you know what, are you sure of yourself, or this imposter syndrome, as they call it, it's a little bit tough, but it is a hurdle that we need to overcome. But certainly after that, and after winning the awards, I've sort of come into my own. I mean, 42 years later, I've stepped into who I am. And so I want to be unapologetically, unwaveringly, always me. And so that was certainly my moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that, like, not realizing your own potential is really, really important. I think for a lot of female leaders, like I've been dealing with the Top Woman Awards for 15 years, like I said, but we also run multiple other awards, and very often the ratio of women putting up their hand to enter an award versus anybody else is quite remarkable, you know. And it often comes from colleagues or people they've worked with saying, hey, you know, try it, just do it, you are worthy of it. So thank you for filling in some of the polls. They're coming in. And I'm just looking at some of the leadership challenges that they're facing, and I just want to share it with some of the other panelists. And it's looking like about 50% are struggling with funding. Some other areas are employee mental health at 21%, employee wellness at 19%, retaining top talent, that's sitting at about 21%, and your competitive working environment is sitting at about 31%. So, I mean, these are all the topics that we're speaking to today. So I think very, very valid, and it kind of, we're in tune with what is going on in terms of our topics. So Busi, in terms of transforming obstacles into promotional opportunities, what are your thoughts?
So, Karla, as we were speaking yesterday, I did mention to you that I've seen that with COVID, of course, it came without notice. We were never ready for it, and it just sort of took over. And we were, at first, you know, we were all just waiting to say, maybe in 2 weeks, all would be well. Maybe in 2 weeks, the president would say, no, everything goes back to normal. But that never happened. And I think after we noticed that it wasn't going anywhere, there were different types of moves that we made. Other people said, I will wait until this comes right and I'll just sit here and relax. And other people said, what can I do with this? So one of the things that I saw in my own life and in my own businesses is that promotion became easier when COVID was in place. I think people felt for the first time that they needed to pay attention to what was important to them. So if you had something that could help people, people were now more likely to join in and understand what you were actually doing. But also it was no longer about an advert. It was no longer about just say, hey, come buy this. It was more like, I am wanting you to buy my t-shirts because this is the reason why. And all of us, we started to listen to the reason why. And I think COVID has made all of us become a little bit more human. It made us become a little bit more understanding. It made us understand that I'm not buying this because I should buy it, but I need this. This is going to add value in my life. So as a coach, I was telling you yesterday, my business grew more than 800 times in this past 8 months. And it was because I was there to say, whoever needed help to survive the COVID stress, to survive their business falling apart, or to actually see what else can I do with my business in this time, I was available to do that. And of course, for me, that was something that is special in my heart to do. But a lot of people finally were ready to work on what was important to them. It's either growing the business, it's either changing the business, it's either sending a different message than what you've been sending. But I think at this time during COVID, let us not look at our businesses as something that just provides service. Let us look at our business as something that is serving people. When you're thinking about who needs me today, when you wake up, who needs my flowers, who needs my jackets, who needs this and this, think about who you're serving other than just thinking I'm making money, it's a business, because it is a time where everybody is willing to want what they really want, and nobody's buying at this time, I think, because they must be buying. So what you're selling must be really serving, and you must do it from your heart.
Okay, good advice, and I agree. I think I've also noticed that it's being able to ask seems easier. So businesses being able to ask because they have that reason why they have, so asking and saying, this is a time where we need help. So asking for help, I've noticed has been quite a lot more happening a lot more often now. So Munyadziwa, for you, I actually want to jump to the next topic, which is proven ways of securing funding for your business, because I think that a lot of people have shown interest in this. They want to know, and you gave me you've got some creative solutions for assisting your business to grow, and some principles that you shared with me, and if you can share them with everybody.
Okay, thank you. Basically, what I was saying to Celeste was that, to Karla, was that when we started with our business, we obviously, like many others, started very small. And for the greater part of the years, we actually had certain parastatals as our, anchor clients, covering about 80% of our revenue. And clearly that was not a smart way of doing business. Then we realized when parastatals started becoming shaky and whatnot, that it was time to actually expand. It was time to diversify and time to look into other avenues. That's where we actually started knocking on other doors and started getting opportunities in perhaps the renewable space, the mining space and whatnot. It's that diversification that actually allowed us to be steadfast and be able to handle even just COVID, Basically what we learned as we started was that what was important in business was building a very strong relationship with money, because money can also be a deterrent. It can be an obstacle. So we had built a very close relationship with money, understanding what it is and how important it is to actually save for the winter, for the cold weather, for the rainy season, and that's how we actually started to save and put up reserves for our business, knowing that whatever money that we would get from our clients or from the projects that we work on, it's not necessarily money for the posh and for, all those Lani stuff, There's a business that needs to run, there's a business that needs to be sustained. And tell you what, just that approach and that strategy, it actually took us through the worst in life. I was saying to Karla yesterday that in our business, how we actually obtain funding is through tendering. We do a lot of tenders. What I highlighted was that there can be a year where you send out about 150 quotations, 150 proposals, and of the 150, you probably only get half. There can be a year where you can get 80%, and there can be a year where you actually get 5%, like 2020, But then what happens then on a year where you get just 5%? Are you gonna shut and say, damn, good business is not doing well? No, it's actually those strategies that you have worked on then that will actually take you through the rainy season. So I was saying to her that 2020, much as it was very difficult for everybody, we were able to pull through as a business. I was highlighting that we may not have been able to increase salaries. We may not have been able to give our employees bonuses or whatnot, but we never had to get to a point where we start cutting on salaries and whatnot. But if you look back and ask yourself what actually sustained us is the relationship with money. Is the relationship that we have built with money to understand that money comes, but money is not to be chowed just like that. You need to save, you need to make sure that you have proper reserves as a business, and you know how you're gonna approach the rainy seasons. And that for us, I think it has really helped us, not forgetting the diversification when things were looking shaky,
Munyadziwa, I think we've got about 35% entrepreneurs from the polls that are with us today. And I believe, you know, a lot from the interactions I've had, that a lot of them rely on tenders or believe that tenders are the be all and end all. And, you know, you've been through a bit of a roller coaster of, you know, 1 year getting 60 out of 100 tenders, and then the next year 5 out of 160. You know, what is your advice to people who strategically place their business around being funded through tenders?
My advice would be that, you know, when you tender, you need to also manage your expectations.
Mm.
By merely submitting a tender, don't already start planning on the tender before the award. I always say to the guys in the office that, you know what, we are going to submit the tenders no matter what. I'll give you an example of, let me actually focus on the time that it takes to prepare a tender. I was saying to Karla yesterday that, you know, it takes so much time and it's really costly to prepare a tender. And not getting it would actually be quite disappointing.
Mm.
But for us as a business, what we've gotten used to, and which is now a culture in the business, is to understand that, you know, we are in business, it's risky. So getting the tender is a blessing indeed. But if we don't get it, it's okay. So our philosophy is that you will never get what's not meant for you. And my team actually understands that very well, to a point where even after working overnight to submit a tender and we miss it by a minute and we have to bring it back to the office, none of them will throw it in the bin. Because when they bring it back to the office, I say to them, it was not meant for us. Let's carry on. And we continue, you know, so just manage your expectations and just understand that, you know, by merely tendering, it's a competition. You might get it, you might not get it. And if you don't get it, be grateful that someone else got an opportunity. You will definitely get your chance. And when you get it, use it wisely, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And it's the thing that you spoke about is the seasons. Being aware that from one season to the next, things will change, cash flow and money wise. Yeah. So, Busi, I've got a comment here, and I'm targeting you because there's a comment from Moira saying she'd love to learn from your failures, not you specifically, but everybody. And you've had quite a significant history with sort of failing forward and getting back up with regards to relationship with money and your career. Would you like to just tell us a little bit about that and what lessons you've learned from that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think our failures are the most important things in our lives. You know, winning is great, but failing is actually where we learn all that we need to learn. So for me also, I had a lot of those. And I think one of the most painful one that I could say, I really felt the pain in that one. About probably think it's 14 years now, I got myself into a serious problem where I had owed the bank up to 40 million rands. And at that point, the bank decided that it was over. I needed to get sequestrated. And sequestration means that you lose everything and you have to start from scratch. Now, I am married in community of property. So it means that my husband lost everything overnight, just like that. We were both left with what we were wearing. And it was because I had went and started, at that point, I had failed in about 6 businesses. I mean, the first business that I started when I was about 22 was in real estate. I went from that to truck ownership to all sorts of things. And at that time I was at number 6. And that's when the bank said, it is over, you can no longer do this. And of course, every time I was failing, I would fail and what I noticed was that I was never dealing with the issue at why I was failing, because when I was failing, it wasn't because I wasn't knowing what I was doing. It was because I had this fear at the back of my mind that one day I would lose it all. And all our fears are real and they're telling us something that we need to fix within us. As Munyadziwa just said, if your money relationship is not fixed, really you might be having fears that can just come back and mess it up all for you. So 6 businesses later, I had that amount of assets and I lost it all. And it was just that fear that said, you will one day lose it all because you don't have an MBA, you don't know what you're doing. You just started a business from hearing that you could start a business. So I lost at that time. And that was the time when I think I'll say my moment of being sober came through. And when I grew from that point, it was no longer, you know, they always say when investors are coming to invest, they never invest in the business, they invest in the jockey, they don't invest in the horse. So it was me that I needed to sort of put in place my beliefs, what I am doing, who I think I am. And after that, when I started to work on myself, that is when I started to build a business that today is 13 years and it has not fallen. It has become a multi-million rand business. But then out of those failures, one of the things that came out from that was for me writing a book. The book that I've written now, it's 3 years old. It has sold international. It has gotten international awards. We have sold more than 12,000 copies all over the world. And when we got orders from Brazil and from UK and from all this place, I was shocked because I really wrote it for people in Joburg and Pretoria. And I was like, whoever cannot come to see me for a session and whoever cannot make it to my seminar will have the book. And all of a sudden, when I put it on YouTube, all over the world, the book started to be bought. And that book is literally bringing in money for me that feels like a gift. And so I say, I wrote that book because of what I went through. And I was saying, whoever is on this route of losing everything they have because they are knowing and they are putting themselves out there and saying, I will do business with all I have. If they are making these mistakes, let them learn them so that they don't find themselves in that hole, because I will not want my worst enemy to be in that situation. So that is why I was writing the book. But the book has been a blessing to my life because it has given me millions of rands that I normally still ask myself, why am I getting money for this? Why am I getting money for this? So my failures have really, really put me out there. My failures have really been the best things that have happened to my life. And losing everything and losing your houses that get taken, your cars, people just keep knocking at the door and say, can I have this? I'm here to fetch this. It's the worst thing that can happen, but it's also the best thing that can happen. So when you're going through troubles and when you're going through those challenges and you're losing your business and this is happening, always know that that is one step towards your winning. And it doesn't feel like that. I know it doesn't feel like that. So during now COVID, a lot of businesses have died. But know that I have had so many businesses died in my hands. Know that sometimes you must give CPR to the business, sometimes you must move on. But whatever you do, it's a step to where you are going.
Busi, I think so many people can identify with that story. Probably not on a scale of 40 million. I think some have just maxed out their credit cards. My jaw dropped when I heard that story, and to not that, but to see you sitting proud and helping other people, and that's become your sort of life's work and your profession now, absolutely incredible. So, well done, a round of applause to you for overcoming that. Celeste, let me come to you because you've also had sort of in terms of a relationship with money, you've also got some principles that I would like you to share that were quite profound.
Yes, you know what, and the ladies have spoken about, with your relationship with money is so important. But to bring it back to practical terms in the business, for us, we found, as a business owner, you need to keep your eye on your books, actually. What is your debtors book sitting on? 6 months down the line, you're going to know 6 months to a year ahead of time whether I'm going to need to resuscitate this business if this business is in trouble. And the very sad part is, you do work for all these huge listed companies, and when it comes to terms, you don't get your monies on time. So you've carried that job, you've paid for materials, you've paid for labor. And so that's really a sad part of it. But, in terms of overcoming adversity, when Busi was speaking, I was just struck about sometimes we expect that something good shouldn't happen to us. we sort of live in, it's never going to come to us. And I would say we need to live in the expectation that good things are going to come to us. You know, when you're a farmer and you plant potato seeds, he's not going to bed and tomorrow he's hoping for pumpkin. He knows what he's going, he has that expectation. But even, below the surface, under all that pressure in the dark, that's where germination takes place. That is where the most growth takes place. And so with failure as well, we keep on thinking, oh, if I failed, I need to start all over again. And that's not necessarily the truth. When you fail from experience. You start with experience. I'm never going to do that again, or I've learned from something. So I think those are important things for me, certainly, is to have a positive attitude, to expect good things in the business. I have a culture in my business where we don't entertain negative talk. Sometimes we can get distracted by looking at the news, looking at the economy, and when you've been in company and somebody has absolutely drained you of your energy. So it's important who you surround yourself with as well. Have those people that are confident, that are positive, that speak life into you every day. Those are extremely important to me as well, especially in terms of where money is concerned. And when Munyadziwa was speaking, the other thought that came to me is, in a business, you need to be able to pivot. If COVID has taught us anything, in our business as well, instead of merely surviving, we actually thrived through COVID, and that it was the amazing thing. But it also taught us to take the opinion of our staff on board. Listen to those people around you. Those are the people that are engaging with your clients. If you want to see more money come in, listen to what your clients are wanting. Instead of just putting your own product out there, listen to what they need. And once you can service that need and meet that demand, I think money will come to you. And also passion. If you're passionate and enthusiastic about your brand, people can sense that, people can feel that, and people want to do business with you.
From you and Busi and Munyadziwa talking, it's like where energy flows, money goes, or what is the saying? I've just got that as like a summary visual of what all of you are saying. So I'm going to put this to Busi, because Lwazi has said there, what opportunities are there for startup businesses, funding or entrepreneurship programs from corporates? It seems most programs or funding are looking for businesses that are 2 years and above. Now, Busi, I know that we spoke about entrepreneurship, and you've got some thoughts around, is it always funding that people need? So I just want to put that into perspective of that question as well.
Yeah. So Karla, it's very important for someone who wants to start a business that has an amazing idea to look at it as in a whole life of this business. A lot of times, and I have made that mistake of thinking that, you know what, for me to get this idea on the road, I just need 2 million rand. I just need 5 million rand. I need somebody out there to just give me 5 million rand. And I have also done that, went into so many panels where they say, come and present your idea, you might get funding. And you keep going and you keep presenting your idea, and it's normally like, oh, how old are you? How much money do you already have? And you get those questions that just makes you feel like, oh, I will never get this right. I'm not 2 years. I'm not making this much money. I am not doing this. So I am not supposed to be funded. No, it's not true. One of the things that I've seen that then works for me, and I've really given to my clients, even if you're in the NGO space or just a normal business, is that do not go presenting to every panel that is out there. You waste your energy when you do that. What you want to do is look at what you are giving and go and target maybe 1, 2, or 3 companies or funding platforms that you see that aligns with what you're doing. So for instance, let's say maybe you have a product that does, maybe you have a fleet business, and you just want to go to one business that is having that need. And you can see that if I go to these people and I do this for them, that will change the whole thing about their business. But then what that will do for me is that it will jumpstart my business. So If you go to a business where they need fleet every second of the day, you say to them, I am having this amazing idea. I'm going to change your lives when it comes to fleet, because it's not just going to be fleet, it's going to be fleet that comes with this and this and this. You put all your bells and whistles there. You say, I'm here to serve you, and in return, give me these resources for me to be able to serve you. So now, when you've done that, nobody is ever going to say no to you, because they know that if they put 1 rand in your business, they are going to get so much out of it, but you are actually winning. And in those cases, most of the time, you don't even have to pay back the funding. That is how I started my business, the one that I said, after all that has happened, I did. I went and said, can I give you a service? Can you then provide me with this and this and this? And that was the payment. And that business grew, and it became an amazing business because I didn't have any loans that I had to pay, but I was serving a company that was willing to then invest in me because I was investing in them. I was giving them my time. I was giving them my idea. I was giving them everything that I have, but they gave me what I wanted. So sometimes you're just looking for 2 million, but that 2 million is not going to change your life. So, and also when you do get a chance to have a company that says, okay, fine, we're going to do this funding with you, do not just take the money and run and go and do whatever. Sit with them, ask for advice, ask, because they might know more. You starting, you are 1 day old, you are 5 days old, you are 2 months. Ask them for advice. Do not just take the money and go and do whatever you think is right. Ask them, sit down with them. And sometimes they might not even give you money, but the advice they give you might just do a whole lot for you. So I always say to entrepreneurs, if you want to start a successful business, never borrow money to start a business. Always use your idea. God give you that idea, and that idea is bigger than any money you will ever need. Use that idea and use it correctly to serve others. You will see, you will get all the funding you need without having to pay it back. So do not go around the whole entire planet looking for money. Go and research few specific people that you can partner with, that you can collaborate with, people who already have these resources lying around in their workshop or wherever, that they are not even using, that they don't even mind giving them to you, and say, I will give you something, I will give you value, give me these things. And that's it. Solve your biggest problem ever, and you don't have to owe anybody. I'm all about never owe anybody nothing.
Yeah.
I can believe it. Busi, essentially, I think what we're saying is stop looking for funding and look for partnerships that can assist in growth, and then everything else will sort of come. Munyadzi, you've got something to say. I can see it. You've got something to add to that conversation, or you just
No, I was actually just echoing what you were saying.
Okay. So, but I just want to say there's somebody who's offered quite a nice piece of as let me just get the name here. Leonie Grayling has just said, please look at NWU's Enterprising Women program, which she developed and managed. It's specifically for pre-startup and early start female-owned businesses. You're welcome to contact me. And she's put there leonie.grayling at nwuac.za for more info. So thanks, Leonie. I'm sure some people will come and get in touch with you. So Celeste, what about you with regards to what we spoke about, what you alluded to earlier, and I want to go into a little bit of the authentic branding. So I was saying that when people talk to me about branding, I immediately think that the thing that we all think is, what do I do with my Instagram profile? You know, what is building your authentic brand?
I think for me, your authentic brand is just being true to yourself. You know, I think that's, you owe that to yourself. And I think if you do that, first of all, your values determine where you're going to go in your business as well. And if you, you know, implement values in your business with dealing with your customers, there's a relationship that's built on trust. People do business with people that they trust, that they like. So your values are important. And it certainly is true about your employees in your business. You know, sometimes the values are not aligned. And so there's a mismatch there. And so you need to determine your values. You need to be true to yourself. I think that's extremely important. And for me, certainly, humility, I think, is important. You know, sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, and it's wonderful to be successful and everything else, and we think we're better than the rest. But what we forget is, you know, the person that is down today might be up tomorrow, and you might need that person. So I think respect goes a long way. Also, Busi, I was thinking, you know, about going out and selling your ideas. Just make sure that you sign an NDA. And you don't give away, you know, your ideas for free. I think that's certainly important. The other thing that I do want to touch upon, Karla, with regards to funding as well, we were very fortunate to be part of an enterprise development program. So we have a client called Growth Point, and they have an initiative called Property Point, which is absolutely amazing. And they do something like you alluded to, Busi, where they're saying, okay, we want these contractors to work for us. This is how we want the work to be done. This is our expectation. We will plow this into your business, deliver this for us. And that certainly has put our business, or taken our business, to the next level. We wouldn't have maybe thought of certain things. They'll send professionals in to come and look at your books. They'll come and look at your staff. They'll look at your technology, your systems. And I'm thinking that this should be escalated to a government level. Make it imperative for, you know, if we're saying that entrepreneurs, we are accountable to so much for the economy, what are we doing as government or institutions to make sure that these companies are winning? That's what we should be looking at. So make it compulsory. BE is compulsory like right now. Make enterprise development partnerships compulsory, so that people can win. I think that's important. We all want to see each other win. So yeah, we need to look at that.
Munyadziwa, go ahead.
Yeah, just to add on to what Celeste was saying, I was actually also part of that program. They actually did not give me cash, but yes, they really added significant value. You know, what they did for our business was basically coaching, giving us all the right advices, training our staff, and training them to become better managers, and doing all that for us. I mean, that's equivalent to, I don't know how much in rands, but the value they added was amazing. And yeah, they're really good.
Interesting that you were both part of the same program. How's that?
Yes.
I'm also going to jump back into the funding, because I've missed a question from Andrea, and I think it should be to Munyadziwa, a question regarding tenders. We are in the service industry, advertising and marketing. I struggle to understand how much of the solution you need to give away in your tender application. Do you trust your credentials and references and a good price, or do you go ahead and deliver on the entire strategy in the tender?
Okay, let me just explain a little bit. Like, I think by now you understand what we do. When we submit our tenders, we make sure that we have a detailed methodology. And from feedback that we have actually received from some of our clients, is that our method statement actually just, it's a tiebreaker. It does the most, you know. So sometimes you would think, okay, if I give them everything, what about, maybe they will take my ideas, maybe they'll do this. But there are times where you really need to give them everything, give them the how you actually gonna do this, when, the timelines, give them a detailed, give them just everything that they need. At least they will be fair and adjudicate fairly, you know, other than you holding back, because whatever you're gonna hold back, they may actually think you just don't know, you know. But if you give them everything, the full strategy on how, obviously there are things that you won't necessarily give, but give them something decent that they can work with, you know, to give them detail on how you're going to do things and whatnot. At least that way they're able to give you an opportunity, you know, even just an opportunity to come and give them further information on the how. But if you don't give them anything initially, it becomes a challenge for them. You might actually just be disqualified because they don't believe you're able to do it. So that's how we actually do it. We give them what they need, including what they don't, just so they're certain that we're able and we know what's needed.
I agree with you, Munyadziwa. It almost is a risk, and it's being vulnerable. And we're also in the media industry, Andrea. So with us as well, what I found, what it does is it's disheartening, yes, if you don't get it. But on the other hand, it's allowed you to put down your business plan. It's allowed you to put onto paper what you know, and coordinate yourself properly and revisit if you are on the right strategy or if your product is good enough and how you're being evaluated. So take that lesson from it as well, in moving forward, not just whether you got the tender or not, but the process is important for your own learning and development and for re-strategizing your business if you need to. Yeah. So, okay, again, Busi, and I'm going to bring this to you about building an authentic brand. I mean, you've been doing this now for many years. And again, like I said, what is it about? Is it your Instagram? Is it your LinkedIn? I mean, you've gone on a whole lot of online journeys over the last year, which has changed your business. But is that what it is? Is it your online presence or within presence?
So, of course, you have to do all of it. I mean, there is all of it. There is the social media, there is also you. I think when you have focused a lot on you and what you stand for, it is easy for you to show up everywhere where you are showing up with that one message. So when you have decided that I stand for this reason, try to make sure that you do not doubt yourself in it. You do not, and it's okay to go and rectify and grow and build up on it, but do not doubt that I am good enough as a business owner that is selling tires. I am good enough, because our brands are authentic when we understand who we are. It doesn't matter who we are. Nobody cares of who I am, but they care on why am I doing this? And if I believe in it, then it works. So a lot of time as a business owner, you might be thinking that maybe it's this is the client that I want to give this to, they might not believe me, they might not think I can do this, but you know you can do this, you know you have the skill, you know you can serve them. So do not doubt this. And it's easy to doubt yourself because there's obviously you have so many competitors out there that are doing all other things that are doing. Try to stick with what is you. And that is why in business, there is a term called unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition is that authentic brand. You have to stick to who you are and present that everywhere. So I normally say, if I'm invited to an event, I am always going to bring me. If I am on social media, I am always going to bring me. When I started my YouTube channel, I mean, I talk about all sorts of things. I talk about women empowerment. I talk about business and entrepreneurship. I talk about personal development. I talk about all sorts of things. And some of the subjects that I talk about, people are even be like, why are you even talking about this? But I'm saying, this is me. I am telling you about what I do in my life. I'm telling you about what works in my life. And other people will be like, I wouldn't do that. I would definitely do this. So, and that's what people appreciate. When you show up as you and you really believe in you, they will then believe that you can help them. So when you have an authentic brand, people will never doubt that you can help them because you're not doubting you. So I think being authentic is about having that confidence in yourself, having that self-esteem in yourself, having that belief in who you are. And when they had said no, know that they are saying no to whatever that is not aligning with them. And it's not you, because you are perfect as you are. So they did not take my business today. It's fine. It was just not time for them. Maybe it wasn't what they needed. But me, I'm okay. Continue being you. Because the people that need you then will see you because of that.
Munyadziwa, I want to ask you, have you ever developed a actual strategy? I mean, is it something that you sat down and done and said, I'm going to build a brand out of myself? Or what is the principle that you follow?
Okay, I've never really sat down and have something in black and white, but this is one thing that you obviously will consistently think about. How best can I do it, you know? In terms of building a personal brand, I think I was trained from a very young age by my father, who was a school principal. Every day, every morning, you need to recite, who am I? Wow. What am I about? Where am I going? All those things, you need to write it down and prepare it, you know? So now it's like stuck. It's one of those things that every time I keep asking myself those questions, because I realize that they are key in life, you know? But in terms of us as a business, actually making sure that we build an authentic brand, we have a daily mojo in our business that say, we are every day going to seek to be the purple cow. We are going to seek to be remarkable. We are going to seek to be outstanding in whatever it is that we do. So amongst other things that, or that drives our business, we try and make sure that we do our very best at all times. But what I like most as well, and what I think has actually contributed quite significantly in building an authentic brand for our business, was basically creating an organizational culture, basically understanding, like she said, that we need to understand who you are. As a business, we seek to understand who we are, what we are, and how we complete our tasks is basically what we believe is actually our tiebreaker and our first point of difference. So we continually nurture and nourish our culture in this business that we do, such that the only aspect that drives our reason for being and forms the foundation of our success is this culture that we have actually harnessed within our business. And we've made sure that every employee in the business understands what we are about. Then it's easy for them to become true ambassadors of the business wherever they are, even at their homes. Wherever we deploy them, they become true ambassadors of the business because they quite understand the vision of the business, where we are going as a business, and what we are as a business, you know, what we are about, I mean. So I think building an organizational culture that actually sells your brand better, and making sure that you, like I said, seek to be different, be the purple cow. So that's our daily mojo in our business.
Fantastic. I know that probably a lot of people will be asking that a lot of people got sort of sideswiped by who they really are in 2020, and are probably revisiting that. And it sounds, I mean, I would use, what is the 3 words that you wake up and say that your father taught you?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Yeah, understanding your surrounding. Where am I and where am I going? Yeah, why am I here? Yeah.
I think a lot of people ask that halfway through homeschooling, remote working, and technical issues. But yeah, ladies, the other thing that has happened, and some of the polls that have come out have been talking about sort of our working environments. What are there at the moment? Mental wellness has become quite a big issue. And how do we, you know, what are some tips that you might have around tackling competitive working environments in the new working world that we have, whether it be remote, whether it be in office, on site, whatever that may be? Can I start with you, Celeste?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's become critical, especially in this environment right now. And as business leaders, we certainly need to be empathetic. You know, when COVID hit, it was fearful. So, you know, as leaders, you had to put your staff at ease and make sure, you know, put them at ease and say, we're going to get through this, but we're going to get through this together. I think people need to, when staff are appreciated and they feel like they are personally or in some way responsible for the success of the business, they're more invested in that business. They bring their A game every day. So that's certainly important. I think as far as competition is concerned, competition is important. It gets your creative juices flowing. You sort of think out of the box. So that's very important. However, and this is what we train our staff, and this is part of our culture again, you do not badmouth the competition. You show up with your excellence every day. You show up with your consistency. So I think that's very important. I remember a friend of ours had said he used to travel with his mom in the morning on the N1. And you'd see all these cars dashing past them. And you know what the N1 looks like from the northern suburbs to Cape Town. I mean, it's a nightmare. And so you'd see all these cars, you know, like wiggling through and going past them. And his mum would stay in the same lane. And he'd say, Mum, but why are you staying in the same lane? Can't you move over? And how many times doesn't this happen when you're moving and you're trying to get somewhere, you go out of your lane and you try and zip past, and the person that was 10 cars behind you, he's in front of you all of a sudden. So stay in your lane, know what your offering is. Like Busi was saying, your USP, know what your USP is. Be consistent in delivering that every day. And that is the quality that you represent. We have multiple workshops in our business, and I feel this is very important. And Munyadziwa touched on this. You know, culture is something that's going to happen regardless. It's
I think we might have lost Celeste. Have I got you all there?
business. So that ensures everybody's on board with our values. Our values are demonstrated and communicated from the time we answer the phone. How do we give value to our customers, especially in an industry that's very commoditized, and you have the same thing that's selling? How are you going to differentiate your product? And certainly for us is, what is the customer experience? What is that going to be like? If I come in as a customer, yes, your product is wonderful, it's quality, but what has my experience been like when I walk away? So being customer centric, you have to sort of be on top of that. So I think those important lessons are learned sometimes the hard way, but they are things that you know, make your business stand out. So I think those are important.
You used one of my favorite phrases, and that's stay in your lane. I love it.
Yes. Absolutely. But that's not to say, Karla, you know, I'm not saying put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And we will certainly, you know, at our own default, we had one client and it was fantastic. And so you think you're making a certain X amount of money a month. We're just going to concentrate on this one client. And next month, the new portfolio manager takes over and he says, but I want to give it to this person, or I want to do it this way. So stay in your lane, definitely concentrate on what you do good, what you do well, but don't put all your eggs in one basket.
And Karla, if I can just add on what Celeste has said, I work with training coaches on a daily basis to become professional coaches. And that is the one industry where a lot of coaches look at it and think there is so much competition. But actually, it's also one of the best places. My biggest ever business advice that I always give myself is that, number one, learn from your competition. Number two, make sure you do not have competition. So I am always setting up my business that I do not have competition. So it means that there is nobody I'm competing with. But so many people who think they are competing with me. But what does that mean? It means I'm in front. I am leading. So I can only lead when I'm in my lane. So always make sure that you are adding things, you are subtracting things, you are multiplying things in your business, that you do not have competition, that you really stand out, that you stand out there. And when they're thinking of people, they say, they shouldn't be thinking, should I call Busi or Celeste? They should not be should I call Busi or Celeste? There's only one person to call, it's Busi. So, so you must and this is something that when you think about it every day, when you go for coaching, when you do your personal development, make it a point, because I promise you, when you have gone to that level, when you enter a boardroom, you will never have to think, will they take me today? Will they think of me? You know, I'm the only thing they need here. I am bringing my energy here, and that's all they need. They need me. So do not ever think you are in competition. Make sure that your business has that USP that is so unique, and you build it every day. It is only a thing of you building it every day that it stands like that. But then whenever you see somebody doing something you like, you learn from that. You learn from that. You talk to them, you learn from that. You give them something, they give you something, you learn. Yeah, that's how I deal with competition. That's how I teach coaches to stand out. And once a coach understands this, they will never ever not have a client.
Well, see, my father was a mentor for me for many years, and he always said, nothing happens in business until one person gets excited. And I feel like you're that contagious, excited person that creates business. But Munyadziwa, what about you? In terms of, you've all done pretty well, I must just say, from discussions over the last year. So, but that must have some compounding sort of stress elements. So what has been your experience in tackling competitive working environments?
You know, in our space, we work on legislation, And if you think about the environmental legislation, it has become very stringent over the years. And obviously, when you also look at the current state of our economy, there's been a lot of job losses and whatnot. So there are many people that probably lose their jobs who then decide to be environmental consultants as well, depending on what they were doing then. So we have seen in the past years a number of companies mushrooming like all over and demanding their fair space in actually a price-driven market. But what we have decided as a company is actually to continue reaffirming our clients of our highest caliber of service and value for their investment. We make sure that our product is at its highest, we deliver to our clients best product and make sure that all is in order. And I think also what has worked for us over and above just tendering and submitting your tenders and hoping to get whatever it is, we've also tried to make sure that whatever companies we get an opportunity to work with, we build meaningful relationships. I think I highlighted it yesterday to say to you that, sometimes we need to forget about client and contractor. Before we actually think about being clients or being a contractor, you must remember we are dealing with human beings. It's human relations that are so important to understand that you and I, even though you're a client, there's a common denominator. We are both human beings. Yeah. So we work on a human relation type of a thing, and make sure that we build meaningful relationships such that even the next time when they think of awarding a project or working with you, they find it very easy to pick you amongst many because of what you have delivered and the energy that you also bring whilst you're working with them and stuff like that. So I think that for us, it has worked quite well. And then, I think that's just about it.
Ladies, I'm going to give the audience another opportunity, a last opportunity to ask you any direct questions if they want. We've got about 10 minutes left to go. I know that went quickly. And in the meantime, I do have a question for Busi, which says, it's from Rikhotso, which says, I'm a coaching business, but for the past 5 years, our company has been on the same level. How did you scale up? What did you focus on?
Okay, so being a coaching business, I think the worst thing that can happen is that you only have 8 hours and that you are one human being and you need to sleep, eat, and do all things. So if you have 8 hours, which means that you're seeing 8 clients a day, then you know what? You will never have extra 34 hours. We all get 24. So that means that there is no scaling because your time is limited as it is 8 hours. But what you want to do when you're in the coaching space is to recreate yourself that you can sell yourself when you're sleeping. You can sell yourself when you're on holiday. That is how I scaled up. So one of the things that I did was writing a book. And this is a book that was not just a book where I am just telling my story, which is important, but it was a book where a person can buy the book and literally have me in their living room for 30 days where there is there's a coaching program on that book that they can work with. It's called How to Change Your Money Mindset. So it is making this person understand the coaching methodology that I'm going to help them with further on. And it's already helping them fix so much in their lives by just buying my book. So instead of me coaching 8 people a day, I am now coaching 12,000 people all over the world. So that is one of the things. Then you want to have, so I have, which, I mean, you could do whatever that comes to your mind. I have online programs. So I have got probably about 12, 13 online programs at a time where a person that has debt problem can come and do that. A person that wants to scale up their business can come and do that. A person that wants to find their calling and what they need to be doing in life can come and do that. A person who has mental problems and who has money problems that have hurt them so much that they feel that I don't want to see money anymore, I'm tired and all that. So I am coaching thousands and thousands of people every day, either I'm sleeping or not, because I've created those platforms. And then of course I've got a YouTube channel where I've got probably about 500 videos. So you can literally, I mean, there's people that say, I've been listening to your channel for the past 5 days, the whole entire day. And I'm like, wow, I can speak a lot, but probably not that much. So there is a channel where a person can continually be with me in their homes every day. So, I mean, one lady told me that her son is addicted to me and the son is 2 years. I never thought I would have a 2-year-old client. So, but it's because they live with me in their house. So when you're in a coaching space, you want to have your clients have that much access to you. That is how you scale up. So if I'm sick, when I'm on holiday, when my business is growing every day, and of course I've got an Instagram account where my clients can see what is currently happening. I've got all these other things, Facebook and all this. So where they can consume the information. I was just telling Karla yesterday that before COVID, I used to have one workshop a month with 30 people every month. But now I have every Sunday about 100 and 150 women online where I'm teaching them different things. So of course, the business has scaled up, but you have to think of it in that way of how can my client have me with them all the time when I'm not there. I am not somebody who likes working. I just love speaking. So that's all I do. But I promise you, I am in people's faces every day, all the time. And that is how, and they don't mind to say, I'm buying this program, because the past program they did, it helped them. And they sent me all these amazing testimonies every day. Oh my goodness, I did this program, I did this. Some of the people I will never see, some of the people I will never even talk to them. They keep just sending emails all over the world and they say, it helped me, it helped me. I have no idea what helps them. I just keep talking. But that is what God gave me, this talking ability. So I am using it and it's healing people all over the world. Yeah. So, and when I do sit down with somebody in a healing session and doing that, I know that is the time that is so much precious, because not everybody gets to sit with me. So, but that is not the idea, to just sit with people on a daily basis. The idea is to get them to have me all the time. So then, scaling that is like unlimited. It will never end.
So being available 24/7 without using, your all your energy and resources, but being there for your clients in a different way. So it can be on demand, right? Yeah. I've got a question, and from Wanga, and I'm going to put it to Celeste, because Celeste, I know you've just started your academy or your training college, and I've got a question saying, do you have any advice to grow an NPO? I'm 21 and serving as a media director for a small NPO. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name. I'm going to get it wrong. We are youth-led, youth-serving organization for young women. We get funding from schools in the community and local businesses, but obviously that's not enough. So I thought maybe you might have some advice there.
Yes, definitely. I think go wherever you possibly can. Go wherever you can have a platform. Make yourself visible. Whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, make yourself available. Let people see what you're about. I also feel that in that space, stories are important. So tell us the stories of overcoming adversity or whatever it is that you're involved in. Make sure that people know about you. So don't be a wallflower. Don't be afraid to be out there. Be visible. Be in people's faces. That thing that is important. Go out wherever you can. So and keep on keeping on. So many times we get frustrated and we get demotivated, but never give up. And I think part of the battle is in our minds, certainly, but also in our attitudes. If we have a winner mentality and we have a winner attitude, I think that carries us much further. So go wherever you can. Is my advice, certainly.
I'm gonna add to that, Wanga. We are in the media, and one of the things we do is support women or causes that are aiming to empower young women and girls. So you're more than welcome to get in touch with me. You can get me on LinkedIn or Facebook, or directly through my Karla.Fletcher Topco email address. And I'm sure we can find something to help you out. Ladies, I'm going to leave room for last comments, last thoughts that you would like to leave for everybody, and round it up. Munyadziwa, can I start with you?
Yeah. I'm going to leave you with a short poem that has actually motivated me through the years. And it's one that even whenever, come rain, come sunshine, when I think of this poem, I'm motivated to work very hard. It says, "The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night." So remember, hard work will always pay, and hard work will always give you full rewards. That's from me to you.
Thank you so much. Celeste?
Yes, Munyazi got me excited there. You know, you have to be hungry. You have to go after what you want. You have to be prepared to do the things that people don't want to do. So it's sacrificing your sleep necessarily, working till 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, do those things that other people are not prepared to do, and go for it really with all your gusto, with everything within you. You know, every time you have the minute you wake up in the morning, you know, your first breath, decide with that intent, what is my day going to be like? How am I going to go out there? I'm going to overcome any obstacle. I'm going to face challenges head on. And I think our internal dialogue is extremely important. I believe in the power of affirmations. I know it's a simple thing, but you need to sort of talk to yourself. And also, if you want to see where you're going to be in the next 5 years, you know, listen to the words that you're speaking over yourself, over your business, and those people around you. And to everybody else, you know, good luck. Let's keep on keeping on.
Thank you, Celeste. I'm getting before we go to Busi for her rounding up thoughts, I'm getting a lot of requests for access to the session. So if after the session you sign up, you will receive an email, and you can get access to our membership platform. And there you will see all of our previous masterclasses, as well as our conference from last year, all on demand. So you can access this anytime you like. So Busi, on to you.
Thank you, Karla. So one of the things that changed my life, that it carries me every day. And all of us have days where it's dark, and then we have few days where there's sunshine. I mean, most days are not so great. But what I will say is invest in your energy. And investing in your energy is not about trying to be positive. It's not trying to be positive by itself is exhausting. So I would say, don't try to be positive. Don't try to be like, oh, I need to be positive. No, don't do that. But invest in your energy. When I say invest in your energy, invest in lifting your energy up. There is a course that I have on Facebook, and it's definitely free of charge. It's in a group called How to Manifest 100K. And it's of course, you join it and you learn in 30 days how to allow 100K to come into your life, because you have 100K sitting around in your life somewhere, but it's just not in your bank account. So if you have allowed yourself to raise your energy, that 100K will sort of just like make sure that it's in your bank account. So if you consistently make sure that your energy is high, if you consistently make sure that your energy is looked after by you, you will see yourself able to do the things that you never thought you would do. A lot of people come to me and say, but I procrastinate. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know this is going to make me okay, but I'm procrastinating. Why? It is because your energy is low. You need to be aligned with the things you need. So make sure, invest in your energy. I've got that free course. Please go to my Facebook and join it. It's in a group called How to Manifest 100K. Make sure that you do that for a period of 30 days, and you will see how your energy will totally change. And obviously, when your energy has changed, the people that have a higher energy will start talking to you, and the people who have low energy will forget you exist. I always say there are people that need to forget about you. They should just forget you are breathing. They should just like be not in your life in that way. So change your energy. And definitely I've got a YouTube channel that you can watch. It's Busi Selesho. Check me on Instagram. I have all these programs that I always post on my Instagram whenever we are doing it. So check that out. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Busi. Munyadziwa, Celeste, I just want to say, firstly, thank you or congratulations on all the hard work you've done, and for sharing your time today, and for everybody from around Africa We really appreciate your participation. We will be doing another series of masterclasses coming up. We haven't secured the date, but from March there will be another one. So keep in touch with us and contact us and let us know if you'd like to be involved and where to sign up. And everybody, good day and have a fantastic 2021.